Hi everybody, welcome to a special Halloween edition of the CrossFit Games Update Show. I am Darth Woodland along with Cowboy Man and Indian Face over there. And we're going to talk about something that really started around my kitchen table one night, and that is, what CrossFit Games athletes would you want on your zombie apocalypse survival team? Now here are the rules. 3 men, 3 women, all of whom had to have competed in the CrossFit Games this year. So, sorry Josh Bridges, you can't be on the team this year. Obviously,
we take him in a heartbeat.
Yep.
Let's start with the ladies. We will start with Mr. Indian Man, Pat Sherwood.
Okay, here we go. Number 1, Samantha Briggs. I could have, picked her if I only had one choice. I'd pick her 3 times if I could. She's won the games in 2013, former firefighter, she's calm under pressure. She's got some medical training, whatnot, when things go sideways. She won Murphs. She's tough as nails. People are getting carted off the field. She's snapping selfies with the crowd. She's fine. So I'll take someone like that. Fun, lighthearted when we're not battling. She's just great to be around. So she's my first pick. Second, Nicole Holcomb. I think she's a fantastic pick. 2 times Games vet. Stalk her Instagram. Here's what you're going to see. Her jumping over a fire. That's bound to happen at the end of the world, right? Shooting a pumpkin with a pistol. That's like a zombie's head.
Sure.
Throwing spears, knives, and tomahawks very accurately at targets. And even dragging like a 185-pound dummy around. So if I get hurt, I'm covered. Great pick. Lastly, Lindsay Valenzuela. I mean, strong. She's got a motor. She has a forearm tattoo. Need I say any more? She's down for whatever. I kind of see her as like a break glass in case of war type of individual. And her biggest pro for the team is she has a level of intensity that's scary and few people understand. However, that's also the con. She has that same level of intensity. I see her in my mind. She's like that vicious guard dog that will keep all attackers away from your home, but she will bite the family on occasion. But, end of the world, she's on the team.
As long as she's not infected, that's okay.
Nope,
exactly.
she's good.
All right, Cowboy, what do you say?
Well, saddle up, Darth. I got a few picks here for you. I'm going to start with Briggs. I'm going to agree with
How
Indian
can you
over
not,
here.
really?
She's a unanimous pick. She's a firefighter. She's got some basic, some survival skills. She's got the endurance, a cheeky sense of humor, being a Brit. That'll take care of everybody in a pinch, to keep morale up. My second pick is a woman that old Indian over here scorned when we initially had this conversation. It created an uproar on social media. That's Cara Webb.
That was a mistake.
5th place at the games. She's the only child of a single parent in Australia. She said it herself. That makes you a certain kind of tough where you can survive anything.
I agree.
She's also a great swimmer. She got first in the pier paddle. In case we have to run to the coast and try and, get off of the land away from some zombies, I know she's going to lead the charge and kind of set the pace for the rest of us. And last but not least, my final pick might be out of fear because she might beat me later when we go to train in the gym if I don't pick her, is Brooke Entz. Reason being, she can shoot a gun, she can shoot a shotgun, assault rifle, handgun, any one. She can shoot a compound bow and arrow, and one of these little rinky-dink things that Indian over here tries to kill me with on the regular.
Dare you.
She's got knots and basic survival skills. I just spent a week with her on a houseboat. She can tie any knot, she can pilot the boat, she can do whatever you need, and that's a huge help when everything's going to hell in a handbasket.
All right, tie knots. So you're going to tie the zombie shoelaces together? That's your strategy?
That would work.
It's pretty awesome. All right, my 3 women. I'm going to start with Sam Briggs, unanimous pick, of course. All the endurance, and then, God forbid, if she were to die, you can just take an arm off and use that as a zombie killing tool.
Absolutely.
So, she's really just a jackknife of zombie killing on my team. Second, you got to have a medic, and that's going to be Jen Jones. A whole lot of fitness there. Can patch us up if, something ever happens to us. Been to the games, I think, 4 times, can move big weight, so she's my medic.
Great
and then
call.
Finally, you got to have, I'm going to do this because it makes me look like I'm making a point better. You need a moral compass, okay? Margot Alvarez is my moral compass. Plus, she's a hell of a golfer, can swing a golf club. In a pinch, you go to the old Big 5, grab yourself a 7-iron, you're killing yourself some zombies right there, right? So those are our women who we want on our zombie apocalypse survival team. What about the 3 men that we are choosing? Again, they have to have competed in the CrossFit Games as an individual this year. Cowboy, you're up.
Well, Darth, my first pick is a guy who kind of flew under the radar at the games, and that's exactly what you want during this apocalypse. Fly under the radar, let everybody else take care of themselves, and make sure you survive from a day-to-day basis, and that's Aaron Hanna. Went to Firefighter Academy, went to EMT school, so that's the kind of nurse pick like you had with Jen Jones to kind of take care of anybody in case something happens. He went to college to play football, so he's a great athlete, and he won the clean and jerk event at the games this year. So if you know you're maybe kind of rebuilding society, need to throw some heavy logs around, maybe a few dead zombie bodies over the wall to kind of build up a fortress, you know that he's your guy. Second pick, my moral compass, Dan Bailey.
But will he have the gumption to kill, Tommy?
Right,
I don't know.
come on.
He may not
That
need the
is the
gumption.
question.
He's a skilled sprinter and jumper, so he can maybe just outrun them. Maybe go find shelter. Maybe
Make sure he doesn't
be a-
sprint away.
He can be a scout for us. He can ride a motorcycle, which I think is key because you know that the cars are going to break down and you may only have motorcycles as transportation. He's the guy who can teach everyone else, kind of lead the way in terms of that. And he's a skilled outdoorsman. He lived on a boat. He camps a lot. He backpacks a lot. He's got a lot of basic survival skills.
All right, okay.
My last pick, and he's the guy that kind of ties it all together, is John Pera. He's a RoboCop stunt double. The guy just looks all-American, and he was an LA County Sheriff's deputy, so you know he's how's to handle a gun. He's got all the necessary tools and accessories to kind of protect himself, and he's kind of that family man type person, so I know he's going to have the group's best interests at heart when we got to make tough decisions about who to kick out of the group or where we got to go next. He's going to be kind of our Rick Grimes of the group.
I like that.
To kind
That's
of
a good
lead us
analogy.
going forward.
All right, what do you say, village people?
All right. How dare you, first of all? 2 questions. Who do you think you are? Number 2, how dare you? This list is going to catch you off guard. Starting number 1, Ben Garrard. First of all, the guy is from Australia. Everything in Australia is trying to kill you, from the environment to the animals to the insects to great whites. I mean, I looked up, there's something called a southern blue-lined octopus. You know what that is?
No
It's
idea.
trying to kill you, and he survived. He was also in the Australian Army from 2008 to 2011, so he's got that whole kind of background. And the heart he displayed performing under pressure, final event at regionals, he makes the cut. Second, Dan Tyminski. Guy's a 4-time Games vet, but more important, a veteran of the Iraq War on the Army side of the house. And he's overcome some huge struggles in his life, a lot of addictions that he just gave up stone cold with no counseling. So that kind of mental toughness, guy can do anything as far as I'm concerned. And he's the affiliates in New York. Those people are tough.
Yeah.
East Coast. Lastly, Bjorgman Carl Goodmanson.
Ooh.
We underestimated this guy all the time at the games, and you just could not kill him. He always, over-delivered. I think he'd be the same. He's from Iceland. They have a long lineage of incredible athletes coming from there. The weather turns from, blistering sun to snow, in the snap of a fingers. We're going to be living in vacant buildings, the woods. I need somebody tough, and he won Murph. Goodmanson's pick number 3.
You make a compelling argument.
Thank you, sir.
For your 3 men on your zombie apocalypse team. The force is strong with that team. Here's mine. I'm going to agree with Tommy on my first pick. One Mr. John Pera, LA County Sheriff's Deputy. Like Tommy said, he's my Rick Grimes. He has, all kinds of weapon skills, maybe some bow staff skills, nunchuck skills, body armor skills, stuff like that. And look, let's be honest, there's no female zombie that's going to come after that guy.
No,
he's going to be impervious.
Or they
to that.
might come
So,
after him.
Whole lot of handsome you got going on right there. My next guy, you got to have an Australian because, like Pat said, everything on that continent is trying to kill you, and that is Chad McKay. Big guy, moves well, Games vet. He's a leader. He can move well through water. We saw him, on Pendleton 1 and 2, no problem over rough terrain. So big dude, big guy solidarity. Got to have him on there. Now, finally, you got to have somebody with the brains, someone with some smarts, and that's going to be Jacob Hepner, former mathematics technician at Fort Leavenworth, very fit individual, and probably the most important thing, plucky comic relief. You got to have plucky comic relief.
That.
Now, the only risk with plucky comic relief is that's a guy who's usually the first one to die, so be careful, Jacob. So that's our zombie apocalypse team. So let's review really fast who we have. 3 men and 3 women on each of our teams, all of whom competed at the games this year. Some overlap. We have some Europeans on there. We've got some Australians. The whole world is represented. But Tommy, we want to know what the people out there have to say.
You're right, Sean. We want to know what you guys, the fans, think about our zombie apocalypse team and which team you guys would pick in the event of a zombie apocalypse. So go on social media, post in the comments section, pick your 6 and why. And we'll pick our favorites next week once we sort through all of them, and the winner will get a free pair of Nanos, maybe some Halloween colors to stay festive in the season, and that's how we'll be able to interact with you guys and see which 6 athletes you want for your zombie apocalypse team.
I like it. Well, thanks for joining us. That's our 2015 edition of Zombie Apocalypse CrossFit. Everybody out there have a safe and happy Halloween. For Pat and Tommy, I'm Sean. We'll see you guys next time. Trick or treat. Hey, I force choked you.